Good morning and welcome to another episode of Kenan Concourse Convos. My name is Ben Doster, and I am one of your co-hosts, and I'm sitting here with my other co-host and favorite biomedical engineer and CEO slash mayor of Charlottesville, one of the lone heels in Whoville, Zachary Lloyd Evans. Good morning. Good morning, Zach.
Morning. I'm
So
fired up. I'm ready to do it again.
I hear you, big dog. So we're entering another week of this arduous Carolina football season. The Tar Heels are 2-5 and take a winless ACC resume on the road to upstate New York for a date with Syracuse, a Halloween tilt with the Orange, formerly known as the Orange Men. I don't know what happened, but they suddenly went from being the Orange Men to the Orange. So that is I wouldn't say the question of the century, but what a time to be alive. Um,
Being orange is racist, so they had to change to a fruit, but I wonder if they asked the fruit whether the fruit appreciated being called them being called the orange.
uh, the Cardinals in Syracuse, Friday night. October 31st, Halloween. Uh, it's gonna be a 7:30 p.m. kickoff at the JMA Wireless Dome, formerly known as the Carrier Dome, which I heard could be one of the hottest places to go see a game, even though it was named after a heating and air system. You'd think that they would have that figured out up there. Uh, Maybe they just wanted to crank the heat up for their opponents, but it's going to be a prime time tilt, and we'll have an opportunity to see the Tar Heels begin to see if they can right the ship. We've been so close the two previous games, and arguably should be um, doing much better than we are. But I really feel good about this game, and I think this is a great opportunity for Carolina football to get on the right track. And uh, Zach, I know you've got a lot of thoughts about the UVA game. You were there in Kenan Stadium, uh, but can you uh, just tell us where do you think Carolina is at in terms of uh, improving progress, growth? It seems like, especially on the defensive side of the ball, we're making strides, especially I would say leaps and bounds. Um, I'd say these last couple of games, we're playing almost as good as anyone defensively in the ACC. Offense still not there, but getting better. I mean, we had our best offensive performance of the season against Virginia this past Saturday. But in your from your perspective, where are you seeing the most growth and progress right now?
Yeah, absolutely. On the defense, for sure. I mean, I said this at the beginning that our defense is very good. I mean, even I think every game our defense has been good enough to win, except for the Clemson game, where pretty much from the bat, from the jump, they dropped the ball and sort of laid an egg there in the first quarter, and then they righted the ship the rest of the game. Honestly, they played really well the rest of the game. Unfortunately, they were just too far in a hole that game. But even the TCU game, it was the offense's fault for directly giving them two scores. It was the offense's fault for turning the ball over another time, maybe on downs, or I can't remember, but giving them the short field. That game should have been like 27-21 instead of 27 or 48-14. And then the UCF game, I thought the defense played well enough. The only, bad breakdown was the play right before the half, but and then in the second half, they got tired. Both the TCU and UCF game, they got tired because the offense was just so poor. And even in the UCF game, the offense directly gave them a touchdown. So, kudos to the defense. I mean, we saw in the Cal game, the offense turned the ball over immediately to start the game. And The defense, made them have to work to go those like 20 yards or whatever for Cal's first score. So I think the defense has been good all season. And I think that the numbers don't tell the full story. One of the things that I wrote down here was I think our defense in a lot of categories is 100th in this and 90th in that and whatever. Those numbers don't matter when you don't play complementary football. And especially in college, good defenses. If you go and study good defenses, I wrote this out to Ben earlier this week. Good defenses are good because their offense is good. Their offense is able to score and give them the lead so that now the defense can force the other offense to be one dimensional. Good offenses give their defense good field position, right? Go study Georgia, Alabama, those teams. I mean, I'm not sure that their defense would have been nearly as good as they were if their offense was like ours is this year. I think our defense is good and they've just been getting tired, and that's all on the offense. You have to play complementary football. And I do agree that the offense did a little bit better this week. And the game should have been 23-10 at the very least at the end of regulation. I mean, I'll say it should have been at the very least a field goal when Gio threw the ball off of the face mask of the receiver up into the air. But had we scored a touchdown, it would have been even worse. It'd been 27-10. Missed field goal, fumble at the goal line again. These things, I mean, the offense, I do think is closer than it appears sometimes looking at the score and watching the game. But still, to say it could have been 27-10. I mean, I want to be able to score 30 and hold people under 20. That would be great. So we just got to put some pieces together. But I do see the improvement. Can't deny that we've got over 100 yards more than UVA did on offense and did some things right, especially the first half. We did some things right. And I think the second half was a little disappointing for the offense, but the first half was a really good game plan. So
That's
we
second
play a full game.
into
But
our recap of the UVA game. I think you're right. Um, we're 10-10 going into the fourth quarter, and we're right there. We are right there, and this was arguably a game that Carolina could have won by. I don't know if it's realistic to say double digits, but could have won um, without having to sweat it out like that.
mhm.
I mean, could have won it in regulation. Uh, I
By a
mean,
lot. No, you're right. Double digits at least.
I read Jonathan Jones, one of my former classmates in the J school at UNC, tweeted that Bill Belichick has a policy of guys not reaching for the end zone when they have the ball. And apparently that has not translated to our players. So I don't know if it's a mental block or just failure of communication or what the deal is, or if they just suddenly forget it. Or I mean, a player's going to try to make an effort, but it's amazing. 2 weeks in a row, right by the goal line, we have a fumble.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Cal game, he didn't really reach. The guy just punched it out. This
So
one, Kobe he's a veteran. He has to know that in that situation, just live to play another down. We're on the 2 yard line.
on the next later in the first half, um, and Uh, yeah, at this level, regardless of what year you are, you've been playing football long enough. You're in the Power Four, um, you know, um, level. You should know that the defense is trying to get the ball back from you, and um, you're taught ball security. You're taught to hold it high and tight and protect it, and that just clearly.
Well, the one time that we should have actually reached it, it was like he was too scared of fumbling, but he should have reached it more on the 2 point conversion. That's when you take the risk because that's the ball game. You have to take the risk there. And it was like they got so scared of doing it the rest of the game that they're at the end they forgot, well, shoot, this is the last play. You
uh,
know.
and I want to just, you know, for a second, uh, express, some positivity about the growth of the offense,
Mhm.
in terms of output and production. Seeing some more positivity there with the offensive line being able to um, provide lanes for the running backs. And it seems like the running backs are doing a better job of not only hitting the lanes, but also reading the situation and saying, hey, if it's not there, being patient and looking for an opportunity or space to bounce it outside and cut it up. Still much to be desired, but seeing some growth from our running backs, and they're progressing, and the offensive line to be able to open holes for them to be able to get upfield. And been really impressed with Benjamin Hall lately, and Demond June still continues to do well. Davion Goss has even had some good flashes. So we arguably have two or three guys that can run it effectively, if given um, the space to do that. And Gio Lopez, even though the interceptions, um, he probably had his best game,
Mhm.
and he continues to improve, even if it's hard for others to see. And I know he more than anybody would like to have those interceptions back. Some of those were, um, you know, just a bad bounce, and the Virginia defense got it. But I don't think the receiver was in the best position to make a good play on the ball either. Uh,
Mhm.
and then plays where you're having him throw the deep ball, um, they have him throwing too many deep balls, and that's clearly not his strength. And if you know that's not your quarterback's strength, then tailor the play calling, the offense to something where he's more comfortable with. And those should be short intermediate routes. I wouldn't um, throw the ball more than 15 to 20 yards with him.
Yeah, see, I actually really disagree with you on that point. He is a very good deep ball thrower. That's what he came in to do. He connected in the TCU game. He connected in that Charlotte game on those deep balls. And I don't think we throw enough deep balls. We need to throw them just to threaten them. It's almost like you got to run in order to open up the pass. You got to throw the deep balls so that they're at least aware of it. And I thought his ball, I want to, talk about some points from the game, but I thought his ball to Madrid Tucker down the sideline at the end of the game in regulation was a perfect ball. Madrid Tucker has to catch that. He had two hands on the ball, lost it, and basically handed it to the defensive back. That was not an interception on Geo. I thought it was a perfect placement. If anything, he could have thrown it a little bit higher and out. But like Madrid Tucker went up and had two hands on the ball with the defensive back not looking at him. And then he basically bobbled it right into the safety who was coming over for help coverage. He bobbled it into that guy's hands. So I thought Gio threw a great deep ball. I think he throws good deep balls. There's a little concern. I know that one of my items on my convos around the concourse is a lot of people were asking why does he throw the ball without holding the laces. That's a thing. If you haven't noticed, Gio likes to throw the ball without using the laces, which is very interesting. And he talked about that, I think, in the preseason some. But that would be my only thing is like, dude, use the laces a little bit. Um, but I thought he threw. I thought he did well, and he misses some guys. He misses some guys open. And that's tough, but we got to throw it. We got to throw it. We got to stretch the field. Prove to me that we can stretch the field and make the defense think about it.
To use the Ace Ventura reference, laces out, Finkel.
Laces out, Dan.
That Dan, yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, yeah. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Don't get me on Snowflake. Or my favorite part was when he was talking like a dolphin of all the
when
media.
when he comes out of the bathroom after going in the Shark Tank, he says, "Do not go in there."
That's vintage Jim Carrey. Uh,
That
oh,
was awesome.
that's his best. Um, yeah. Oh man, we better stay on
I
track.
got some I got some thoughts from the game if if we want to get back on track here.
I want to. I had a thought. Um, yeah, I go back to that Roy Williams commercial. Uh, with Ramsey's in there, getting all the drops and missed catches, and I'm just like, those are hooves, Dan.
Those are hooves, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. So just, I mean, when we do have an opportunity and catch it,
Yep, that's right.
gotta pull it in. And maybe that's one reason why I don't feel good about deep balls because I'm just not super confident in our receiving core. I think Josh or Jordan Ship, not Josh Ship, that's his father, but Jordan Ship. I'm the most confident in Kobe Paysor, despite the fumbles been coming on lately,
Mhm,
and he's probably had his two best games back to back with Cal and UVA, minus the fumble, of course. But um, he did redeem himself uh, later on in the first half when he got that 26-yard catch uh,
mhm,
down at the one, and we I think scored on the next play with a geo keeper up the middle. But yeah, I'm just not comfortable with our ability to complete deep balls right now. So maybe that's a better way of saying that Geo's not good at throwing
mhm,
the ball. I just haven't seen us prove to be effective in that area right now. And until we are, I would feel more comfortable. Like at the end of game situations, I get it when you have to get down the field to give your kicker a good opportunity to make a field goal. And credit Tony Elliott for timing that timeout so well. I mean, because Verhoff made the first one, but they uh, they called the timeout, unfortunately, before. So
mhm.
wish us the referees were deaf for a few seconds. uh,
Yeah,
um,
I got a segment on officiating in a
or,
minute.
or Kirby Smart, or maybe Tony Elliott could have had a Kirby Smart moment. Said, "I'm just clapping my hands."
Just clap my hands.
But
What a
unfortunately,
cheater.
that's
What a
not the case.
sleazy dude.
We're sitting here holding the brown bag again this week. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Not Tony Elliott, but Kirby Smart. I said sleazy dude. Kirby Smart is a sleazy frat boy. So
I do can fight coach, man.
he can, but he seems like a snake. So
Don't YouTube is halftime speeches. That's
yeah.
a little wild. Uh, so you had some additional thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. I got a few notes here that I sort of want to run through just about the game, if that's okay.
Go
Some
ahead.
thoughts. Thoughts from my mind, thoughts from other people's points of view, I think will be helpful. So starting with the defense real quick, just some things to point out. UVA only had 54 yards on 34 carries, which is amazing. The other amazing stat of the day was that UVA was seventh in the nation in the least sacks allowed at only 5 prior to the game, and we had 6 in one game. So I think our defensive line is just really swarming to the ball. Our defensive line, I think at the beginning of the season, was chosen to be one of our weakest position groups because of either the lack of playing time or the lack of depth, and yet they're actually the strongest group, I believe, on the defense. Um, we interestingly went, I don't know if you noticed this, Ben, but we went with a third linebacker most of the game. Um, so I think that's how, however you say his name, Melkart Abujade, or however you say his full name. It's challenging to say. I need Jones's pronunciation guide, but he
Dude,
played a third linebacker. Go ahead.
dude was coming hard off the edge, man.
Yeah, he was, but he was actually playing linebacker essentially the whole game. So we had a third linebacker in there, which I think really helped. Um, the defensive stand on the goal line, I'll get to why we were on the goal line in a minute, but the defensive stand at the goal line was really, really, really impressive.
That was epic.
Yeah, that was all. I mean, my friend Roman turned to me and was like, "Dude, that might have been one of the most electric moments I've ever seen inside of a football stadium." So that was awesome. And one play or two plays I want to point out in particular, one good, one bad. There was a play I just want to talk about. I think the defense is improving because the communication is so good, and you can see it on the field. Some guys have really stepped up in leadership, and I really hope that Will Hardy, we can get him a fifth year somehow because he's a fourth year senior. And I really hope we can get him a fifth year because he's like a field general back there. And you might not think that he's doing that much because I'm not sure he gets that many tackles every game. But I look and I watch, and his point of being on the field, his position is literally to put everyone else in the right spot. And there was a play where my friend Tyler even pointed it out. I think it was in the third. It was no fourth quarter. It was in the fourth quarter. They were going away from us, and um, he before the snap was screaming at the entire defense where the ball was going to go. I mean, he got in there and he was yelling them, "The ball's going to go here. The ball's going to go here." UVA snapped the ball. I think it was a third down, and they tried a screen pass that would have been wide open. But the entire defensive line did their job, released their blocks, and swarmed to the ball and just ate the ball carrier. And we stuffed them. And I mean, Will Hardy was just screaming at the defense, like, it's coming right here, it's coming right here. So you can tell, like, the guys on defense are really taking pride in their preparation. They're taking pride in getting these stops. At this point, I mean, I would rather just, if it wasn't for the defense getting tired, it is electric to watch our defense just stay on the field, you know. The one play I want to talk about that we didn't do well, and I wish we could have back, is on the long touchdown that they broke. I think that was one of the few times.
Missed tackle by Marcus Allen.
Yeah, the missed tackle, but Kamari House was right there, and he kind of held up. He didn't run through the play and help support tackle, and he kind of froze up and then realized, oh man, he's going down the sideline, and tried to catch up, and it was too late. And we got to finish tackles. We got to not try. We got to tackle well enough to get a guy to the ground, but not trust our teammates enough where we don't then come in and help gang tackle, you
Yeah,
know. But other than that play, I feel like we set the edge really well. I talked about playing the boundary against UVA, and I felt like we did a good job setting the edge, but man, just finish that tackle right there.
I think fundamentally that's that's what they coach you at in Little League
Mm,
football is gang tackling. That's something that they hear from the very beginning as kids. And I'm sure that's something that Bill and Steve and the other defensive coaches harp on, gang tackling and form tackling and bringing the man to the ground. And
yeah,
out this week, arm tackling. And that was just, I mean, that was, it's amazing how football, a few plays really decided a game.
yeah,
It's cliche, but that's true.
yeah,
And uh, we were right there again.
yeah. Ideally, you win the game, of course, but even with that one play, the defense played well enough to win. And in a sense, it's a good thing that they played so well and still have more to work on. Like
Yeah,
that's a good place to be in, is to be so good and still have more to do.
to be clear, it would be unfair to put the game on that one missed
Oh
tackle.
yeah, absolutely.
Marcus Allen does not deserve that because he
No.
made other plays, good pass breakups, and good provided good coverage most of the game. It just that one missed tackle certainly did hurt, but
Yeah.
I offense hurt was more of the reason why we lost.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we need Zach to quit smoking and lay down.
No, can't shake this cold, man.
So it's not uh, sponsored by Marlboro Reds, I promise.
It was an allergic reaction when you said offense.
Um,
But speaking of offense, what?
offense is offensive.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, um, couple of thoughts on offense. I thought it just at this point it's a combination of play calling and the quarterback play. And I thought Kitchens called a pretty decent game at times, and other times I was like, well, yep, that's what I expect. But I don't know. It was like better and still not good at the same time. I'm not really sure. A couple of things. One, we keep running these mesh routes, but short of the sticks. At like
Yeah, that's
that,
something we've been talking about for a while now.
yeah, that's that at that point, that's like when just throw it deep to prove to me that you're trying. Yeah, like just
Or mess around on first down, second down,
yeah. Some other things.
but not for long.
Yeah, yeah. Third and long. The mesh routes on third and long are driving me crazy. And I get that they can be really effective, but that's a first or second down play.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, we ran the ball well, but one thing that drove me crazy was every time we went under center, we ran the ball. Now I thought for sure after we did it 5 or 6 times, I was like, all right, they've got to be setting up. We got to be doing a play action, bootleg, whatever. Nope. Every single time we ran the ball, we did not do anything to set up anything else. I was like pulling my hair out. I kept yelling it with our friend group. I was just like, dude, under center, here comes the run right up the middle, and
Uh, um, any more thoughts before we jump
oh
in?
yeah, I got a lot. I got a lot. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it short. Um,
Well, I gotta make breakfast soon.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I already talked about some of these. One quick thing about the defense. Actually, one quick thing about the offense. Sorry, and then I want to touch two plays, and then I want to touch officiating. So I'll keep it quick. One thing about the offense, we should have had a better field goal set up at the end of the first half. We had 18 seconds with one timeout, and then pretty much just decided we were going to run out the clock and kick the field goal when we could have tried to at least get 10, 20 more yards. So I thought that was pretty poor play calling there. Um, this is the next thing. I've never experienced ever in a game where the play where he threw, this was before Pasor's fumble at the goal line, but the play before where he threw it deep down the sideline to Ship. I've never experienced a play where Ship, you probably couldn't see this on TV. He was so open, like 5 seconds earlier. I've never experienced the entire stadium yelling, throw the ball. It was so weird. The entire stadium yelled, throw the ball at the same time. And it was like a knee jerk reaction to hearing that is when he released the ball. It was the weirdest sensation ever. I mean, everyone, normally I can see a play open up and Hannah and other people that may be with me are like, oh, how did you see that? Oh, I didn't see that. Like this was a situation where it was so obvious the entire stadium saw it and yelled at the same time. And I was like, dude, release the ball. Um, and then the last thing I want to point out on the offensive side is the 2 point play. My thoughts are one, I would have loved to have seen a play that's called into the end zone. However, a lot of people are explaining that this was the exact same play call that Alabama ran to tie the game against South Carolina. And Bryn Renner had a really good analysis on the Carolina Insider podcast where he explained that when Hall went in motion, that's an indicator. And so he kind of went in motion and then circled back around. And at that point, we saw UVA was in zone, and that's not a good play against zone. And we should have called timeout. We also should have put the ball on the right hash and rolled to Gio's left instead of making him throw across his body to the right. I don't really understand why we were doing that. Um, but that play could have been a good play against the right setup, but we have a timeout. And if we're not feeling comfortable, we should have just called timeout and decided, okay, maybe we're not comfortable. Let's just go for the extra point and play to the next series since our defense is playing so well. But yeah. And then just want to touch on a couple miscellaneous items here real quick. That was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was so bad. My UVA boys that came with me, we had a blast, but we were talking about this. I mean, There were missed holds every play up the middle. And UVA, honestly, their touchdown, the two plays prior to the play that they broke it loose on that missed tackle by Marcus Allen, Andrew Simpson was blitzing and got tackled to the ground. One play, I think it was the play right before that, not only did he get tackled, he tried to get back up, and the offensive lineman grabbed his leg and held him in place. And no call right in front of the official. I mean, just brutal. There was a fumble in the fourth quarter that we recovered at the 10-yard line that they didn't even review. And they should have reviewed that, and we would have had the ball at the 10-yard line and probably scored and won the game. Um, Morris was at least half a yard short in overtime on that third down. I mean, his butt fell like an inch short of the line, and the ball was on the other side of him. So I don't understand that. And then finally, the one that I'm sure everybody was expecting me to say, that was the worst call I have ever seen in a football game when that pass interference was called on Marcus Allen. I mean, the worst call. I don't know if I've ever seen a worse call in my life than that. And
Fire for UVA right there.
it was right in front of us too. So I saw the official. The official was like, his back was right in front of me. I saw him reaching in his pocket as they were going up for the ball, and I was beside myself.
Great for that official too. After that call, right?
I said some things that I had to repent of quickly in front of my children. I've never I never curse, and I said some things I just couldn't contain it because I was just like, this is unbelievable, and I had to repent afterwards.
Mark was praying for the referee, everybody. Uh, um,
Um,
he was praying blessings.
oh my goodness. And two last two things that I just one I want to be able to say this. Well, one is a point that we already kind of made, and then one I think will be encouraging to people in terms of the conversations that are actually happening on the concourse. So the first is to the point about Kamari House not finishing that tackle. UVA, if you watch, they were actually being coached to almost late hit every play. I
Yeah,
mean,
the amount of penalties that they committed, they looked so undisciplined, and I mean, that had to frustrate Tony Elliott and his staff to no end because that's not what they're known for.
no, yeah, for sure on some of the ones that were like roughing the passer, but actually, man, they were being coached to they clearly were being coached to tackle the guy to the ground so much so swarm to the ball that they always, as a guy was falling, if you go back and watch again, every time our ball carrier was falling to the ground, another guy would come in, dive with another hit. And they got called once or twice, but their coaches were actually coaching them to do that, to take shots. I mean, it was pretty dirty, but they were doing that to make sure he was on the ground. And also they were trying to jar the ball loose. So we need to find some balance between that, where we're being aggressive to the ball, but not being cheap. Like they were taking some cheap shots at us. And then the last thing that was a conversation that really did happen on the concourse that I just wanted to share was our friend Tyler went back with his son to the concession stand and ran into some of the recruits. And I'm not going to say who the recruits were, just to protect them and all that. But he basically had a good conversation with recruits and some of their parents, and they were telling him that all the rumors and everything, all the negativity was completely false, that they've had nothing but good interaction with the coaching staff, that the coaches have been incredibly communicative to them and very hospitable, that a lot of the stuff on the outside is noise. A lot of people trying to discredit Coach Belichick. And, that's great to hear. I don't know if they're being sold a bag of goods or not, but the recruits really seem to be bought in. I'll believe it when it's signing day and all of them sign. But they seem to be incredibly positive. And one of the things that some of the recruits said was that they can't wait to play. Even watching the team now, watching the way that they've improved has helped them to see that Coach Belichick means what he says, that like this is a process and we're going to keep improving, and that they wish that they could get on the field and play now. So I thought that was pretty cool and just wanted to make sure that we shared that. So sorry for the long rants and sorry for any times I cut you off.
You're good. Yeah, I'll take it out of your pay this week. Uh,
Well, this next section is all you, so you got this one.
uh, I want to review kind of some recent history of our games with Syracuse. Um, and just some highlights. This first one is not a highlight; it's more of a low light. It's 2003. I went with my dad and brother, and I think Mr. Rob. He's a dear family friend, and he's the closest thing I have to an uncle. I think got us the tickets, um, and I think we might have been at the game with him. But he's a big time Tar Heel, part of the Rams club with Bighorns, and no, but
That's the giving level. The giving level he's at the bighorn.
uh, he loves Carolina football as much, if not more than anybody I know. Um, and he's just a wonderful friend to my dad and to me and to my family. And yeah, just a huge, huge blessing and part, just a major part of my life, and I'm really super thankful for him. And he's probably one of the biggest reasons why I love Carol, along with my dad. My dad first, because he's the one who exposed me to Carolina sports. So he probably didn't know what he was doing. Like you said, your dad created a monster. My dad was real quick to remind us our hope's not in Carolina sports, and he got to do that a lot in Carolina football. But man, I would he every now and then he'd have to look at me and say, "We don't talk that way in this house during the Carolina." Um, and 2003, we're in Kenan Stadium to watch the Tar Heels play Syracuse, and the late Walter Reyes ran for 191 yards to pace the Orange to a 49-47 triple overtime win over Carolina. Oh man, that was a heartbreaker. That was a tough ride home from Chapel Hill back to Morganton. Um, um, and yeah, Fedora's last season uh, is 2018. We're so close, and this game was at Syracuse, and we fell 40-37 in double overtime. But what a great game! Should have won. Um,
Should have won in regulation, if I remember correctly.
Probably. And then during COVID, I think it was basically an empty can stadium. We absolutely bludgeoned Syracuse in the season opener, 31-6. And then a few years later in 2023, Drake May had one of his most impressive performances. He completed I mean, we blew their doors off. We won 40-7, but his performance was just absolutely incredible. He went 33 of 47 for 442 yards and three touchdowns, and then he ran the ball 11 times for 55 yards and a touchdown. So, um, yeah, I miss having a good quarterback. Uh, I'm
He's the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
telling you. And whoa, who was it? Uh, Oh man, I can see his face. It was multiple analysts, but people were saying, "Oh, that's a bad idea. That New England should draft Drake May." I don't know what was wrong with him, but dude is just a highlight waiting to happen. And and then so, but my favorite memory of Carolina Syracuse, you have to go back in 1996. That was the year. I think Zach. You said you remember being in Scott Stadium when the Tar Heels threw the ball or threw the oranges on the field. Uh, After we scored the first touchdown, I think we blew a 17-point lead at UVA that day.
Mm,
Uh,
yep.
the Carolina went 10-2 that season. Went to the first back-to-back Gator Bowl appearances where we beat West Virginia to finish 10-2. But one of my favorite games that season, um, we uh, we played Syracuse, and I think it might have been our second game of the season because I think we blew TCU out of the water. We beat them 45 to nothing, and that's when the Horny Toads weren't a, a program, but TCU's evolved since then, as one can see. Um,
Did you know we play them in Ireland next year?
hey, that's a great opportunity to go stay at the McGregor's. Uh,
I'm just kidding. It's the ads are everywhere. It's driving me crazy. It's like, yes, we get it. They're playing in Ireland. Can we just finish this season?
Boy, that trip is gonna. Um, so in 1996, uh, we're ranked 24th, and they're ranked ninth. And this is uh, right after this game is 3 days after Hurricane Fran, not Fran Brown, but Hurricane Fran. Um, he's more of a tropical depression this season, I think. Hurricane Fran ravaged North Carolina. I mean, it did some real damage, and it was really tragic what happened. So, the fact, I think I heard that Mac Brown even had a tree go through his roof, um, which is wild. So, you're having all that happen back on the home front, and we were able to be galvanized as a team uh, to go up to Syracuse, to the Carrier Dome, focused, motivated, and we got after a great Syracuse team. Donovan McNabb, Rod Conrad, guys like that. I think Paul Pasqualoni was the head coach. And we beat them 27-10 behind a great defensive effort. Greg Ellis, Dre Bly, Brian Simmons, Hay Mays, Lonnie Holiday. I mean, just some studs on that defense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Donovan McNabb was running for his life, beat him 27-10. And so just that's one of my favorite Tar Heel memories. I remember watching that game with my dad at home. We were living in Little Rock, Arkansas at the time.
Mm.
Quick aside, we lived in Little Rock from the early to mid 90s. So we had Bill Clinton and we had Mike Huckabee to cover the spectrum. Uh, um,
Oh
uh,
my gosh.
I want to jump in to the preview. Syracuse is 3-5, 1-4 in the ACC, and they started out 3-1, and then Steve Angeli, their quarterback, had a season-ending Achilles injury, and they clearly have not been the same team, Zach. Um, I would say a Fran Brown era. He comes up from his post as an assistant coach at University of Georgia, goes to Syracuse. They go 10-3 his first season. So there's so much excitement and enthusiasm in the program, and they're off to a strong start this year. And then Angeli gets hurt, and they're just not the same team. And I think they've, yeah, lost four games in a row since that injury. They were one of the more explosive offenses, and then they've been abysmal since he's gone down. That they're only averaging 12 and a half points a game since his injury, which they're right there at the bottom of the ACC offensively since he's been out. Maybe even worse than Carolina's offense.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Defensively, Syracuse, with Fran Brown being a defensive guy, um, Syracuse's defense is just as bad. They're allowing 31.3 points per game. Uh, that's 16th in the ACC for those of y'all keeping track at home. And in terms of yards allowed, they are worst in the ACC at 436.4. Um, I'm, and then, I'm just looking at this game. I'm looking at how we're trending up and they're declining. This is this game is ripe for the picking. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can't, coast in there and roll into town half baked and thinking that we're gonna roll out of there with a win. I mean, we got to be focused. We got to be high attention to detail and take care of the football and play good fundamental football, play good defense. But this game is ripe for the picking. Um,
We gotta go in there and pick those oranges. Give them a fresh squeeze,
Mm.
juice them.
Oh,
Some big old juicy oranges. Yeah, I agree with you. And honestly, it just goes to show you what matters in college football, or even in any level, I think, but especially in college football, you just need a good quarterback. You can win games with a good quarterback, and when you don't have a good quarterback, you don't win games, and that's what we've experienced as well. Um, the new guy, I think, is athletic. He's really athletic. He can run um, some, but he has 8 picks and only 6 touchdowns. So, although I'm pretty sure that's Geo's stat line as well. But it's definitely better than having. I mean, if we had to play their starter that got hurt, we would be in trouble. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely right for the picking, like you said, and I think we're due. I hope we come focused. I mean, it was very encouraging. Will Hardy and Jordan Ship and some of the guys that got to talk at the mic either after the game or this week basically said like we want to play Syracuse now, not in a taunting way, but like we're hungry, we're frustrated. Like put us back on the field right now. We want to win, and I think that's a good mentality. And
that's just him being a competitor.
yeah, and I like to see that, right? Like my concern was, man, this team is not good. All the outside noise, these guys are going to start quitting, transferring, right? And no, they haven't. They want to grind. They want to get better. They're hungry, and I like that. So wearing the retros this week, maybe that'll fire them up a little bit. They'll conjure
We
some.
should just be our normal uniforms, as we've said multiple times
Yeah,
in our thread.
agreed, agreed,
Um,
agreed.
I want to go ahead and jump. I will say one stat, or a couple stats, just to give everybody an idea of where we're at in comparison to the rest of the ACC. Defensively, we're ranked eighth in terms of yards allowed at 345.6. And 10th in points allowed per game at 23.9. I will say, um, aside from the Clemson game, this can look a little deceiving, especially when you see where I mean, we've allowed 21 and 17 in the last 2 weeks. So some improvement there on the defensive side of the ball. And I think we held, correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but I believe we held UVA under 300 yards of total offense.
259.
Yeah. Um, offensively, even though we showed some improvement against UVA, where we had 353 yards, which is the most we've had all season, still not putting it in the end zone nearly enough, and we've failed to. We haven't scored more than 18 points against a Power Four opponent. We haven't scored more than 18 points more against a Power Four opponent this season, and that's the worst in the country right now. Um, I do have a prediction, and I know that I just shared some negativity, but I do
Good.
have a prediction, and my like I said earlier, I feel very good about this game, and like I said, we're trending up, and there and Syracuse is declining, and we showed so much improvement against UVA, a ranked opponent last week. I think we finally get over the hump and win 27-20, and I got another hot take. I think we somehow win. I'm calling it. We're gonna win 4 out of our next 5 and make it to a bowl. Get my tickets for Annapolis, Zach. I want to go to the Military
That'd
Bowl.
be awesome. I love that bowl.
Maybe we can fly in on a helicopter. I don't know, but um, maybe we can get on Marine One. No, I'm kidding. Uh, this this team, what a way that would be to end the season. I mean, I don't want to get sidetracked, but that would be everyone on our schedule right now. We have Syracuse this week, followed by Stanford, and then Wake Forest. I'll be in Winston-Salem to see us take on the Demon Deacons. That's gonna be a major test. Wake is 5-2 right now, and then we play Duke, and Manny Diaz has the Blue Devils playing at a high level, um, at least higher than they were uh, for much of my childhood. And but this is a different Duke program, as David Cutcliffe and Mike Elko have now Manny Diaz have shown you can be successful there. Um, and then we end the game with a post Thanksgiving trip to Raleigh to take on the Wolfpack. And I hope they've got their library and books back together.
The
Uh,
Wolfpackers.
oh boy.
The Wolfpackers. NC
So,
State.
oh Lord. But yeah, Zach, any predictions?
Yeah. A couple things. One, I also wanted to mention for Syracuse that they're really balanced wide receivers. They've got four wide receivers: Cook, Gill Jr., Valari, and Ross Simmons, all over 300 yards receiving. So it'll be an interesting test for us covering the field. But
How
I,
many of those yards came when Angeli was in there?
yeah, that's right. That's right. Almost all of them, actually. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I've got the Heels winning 24-14. Uh,
I'll take it.
and
I
yeah,
don't
10
know.
points would be incredible. Right now, the line is 2.5 Syracuse. They're sort of giving Syracuse the home edge. I think sort of a X factor here will be, I would expect it to be rather hostile. It's Halloween night. I'm sure the students will come dressed in costumes. It'll be pretty loud. It's pretty loud in the dome, right? The noise is contained inside. So we'll see if the boys can handle it. But I think this team just needs to win. Like, this is the type of team that if they win once, they might start picking up wins. And I'm going to go with a hotter take, and I'm just going to say they're going to go 5-0. And they're not going to win 4 out of 5. They're going to win 5 out of 5. And I got some weddings coming up, though, fall weddings. I've got some weddings coming up that I'm going to miss.
Who would schedule that on a Saturday,
I'm
Zach?
going to miss
Tar
some
Heels
games.
player.
I
I
know.
got some flack.
One of the one couple is a graduate from UVA and a graduate from Virginia Tech. So enough said. Enough said on that. But I'm a groomsman, and I'm very glad I get to be a groomsman. But still,
Have a good earpiece with Jones on the call.
so unfortunately, I'm gonna miss the Duke game. I'm gonna not be in Kenan. So I've got 4 tickets for sale. Hit me up. But anyways, yeah, I think we start winning some games, and I'm excited to see it.
Zach's Venmo is at Ben Doster.
No, no, no. Yeah.
Foster, not imposter. Don't confuse it with Foster. Yeah. All that for freestyling.
I
So
love it. You probably learned that at a young age so that people wouldn't get confused.
my mom would be like, "It's just like Foster with a D as in David," because
You
that's my
can't get
dad.
I know. Yeah, yeah. You can't get much easier than Zach Evans, but I guess Zach can be confusing. I had a guy the other day at some
Zach,
restaurant he asked me, is it with a C or with a K? And I was like, with a CH, the way it's supposed to be spelled. And he goes, oh man, I'm so sorry. That was so dumb. I made him feel bad. I didn't mean to, but it was pretty funny.
I hope it was when you were in Germany, not in America.
It was in America. It was in
Oh boy. Oh, well, hey, um, so Zach, we do need to transition. We got a few minutes left, and I want
transitioning sports.
yes, 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 yeah. Easy there, Seabiscuit.
Important clarification.
Yeah. Oh, it's basketball season. The Tar Heels have their first game Monday. I believe the tip-off is at 7. That's November 3rd, Monday. Central Arkansas comes to town. Not the Razorbacks. That's the Arkansas Razorbacks with John Calipari, sponsored by Tyson Chicken. Um, uh, and all that money that Tyson has. But no, we're hosting the minor league Central Arkansas to come play us in Chapel Hill for our season opener. That'll be a good tune-up before Friday, November 7th, when the Kansas Jayhawks come to town. I'm sick of losing to Kansas. We need to beat them. We owe them a whooping, and give Bill Self a good pop. Uh, uh, but
Don't
hey,
let the door hit you where the Lord split you.
that's right. Amen. Yeah. So if that'd be something to say to folks at church who give you a hard time. Uh, that's why I'm not a pastor, Zach.
It was tough this week, man. I had to hold my tongue. I lashed out at some of my best friends and I had to pull it. They tried to blow up my phone immediately when the game was over and I was trying to corral my children and get packed up to walk out and they were blowing at my phone and I went scorched earth on them real quick and then I had to apologize about an hour later once I decompressed and Hannah told me to.
I've had my moments. I remember watching a game with Nick Morris one time at his house back in Charlotte, and we were watching Carolina and Duke, and some guy that I knew from my time back in living in Greensboro started chirping at me, and man, the fruit of the spirit did not come out. There was a hole in my spiritual fruit basket, and well, it, it was falling out. But it was
Hopefully
empty.
not oranges. We want to keep those in the basket so we can squeeze them.
Oh man. Um, but hey, we've finished our two exhibition games. We went out to Salt Lake City, Elder Evans, to take on Brigham Young University. I've never seen so many commercials talking about how BYU wants to help young people in their spiritual life to follow Jesus Christ. I'm like, you might want to check that. But but hey, that's a whole nother conversation. Um, and my money will not ever be going there. But yeah, people were talking about how Salt Lake City was a neutral site. Are you kidding me? That was a home game, and um, I would we lost by two against arguably I mean if BYU stays healthy, they're a well-coached team. AJ DeBansta is gonna keep getting better. Kate is really good. Not Rob Griffin, but the point guard who transferred from BYU. I mean from Baylor, excuse me. Gave us some fits as well, and then they're just a really fundamentally sound team, well coached. They play really, really hard. And so that was, they played better than us, 78-76. But we were very, very competitive, as you can tell. Everybody wants to talk about Caleb Wilson. I understand that, 21-10. And he outplayed, in my opinion, AJ DeBansa. I really liked how Hubert chose to defend DeBansta with Jaron Stevenson, and even Trimble provides some good minutes on him. Um, the best thing that could have possibly happened in that game, aside from winning, I had to keep reminding myself, hey, this is an exhibition game, it doesn't count. But I was already in midseason form, yelling at the TV.
Yeah, me too. Me too. With my boys, I had a couple boys over watching. We were yelling.
But I will say this, the best thing that could have happened was when Kyan Evans picked up his second foul pretty quick in the first half, and they had to put in Derek Dixon at the point. That is going to serve Dixon and our team so well. And the poise that he showed, I mean, he got pit pocketed maybe once or twice. I can't remember, but for the most part took care of the ball, showed a ton of maturity, showed a ton of confidence, even hit a couple of shots. He just looked like he belonged out there. He was not afraid of the moment. That was great experience for him. My dad had a hot take. He thinks, and I tend to agree with him. I will not be surprised if Derek Dixon is the one manning the point guard position, the lead guard position by the end of the season. Ryan Evans is still going to be a major part of our backcourt and that rotation there, but I think by the end of the season, Derek Dixon's going to be the guy um, uh, facilitating the offense. And I was really pleased with him. And I think he's just gonna keep getting better and better and be a mainstay in our program for the next 3 to 4 years, hopefully. And I think he's gonna be a player that Carolina fans really like. And but Caleb Wilson's just as good as advertised. I mean,
He's better. He's better than advertised.
oh man, he's incredible. Uh,
Mhm.
the Not only the athleticism, but the skill, the confidence. Sometimes you want to see him be a little more under control, but I mean that turnaround jumper on the side,
Mm.
that was, I mean,
NBA move for sure.
my goodness. And then
He ended a man's career last night. I don't know if you got to watch the
he
game.
dropped the hammer. He baptized that guy and held him under till he said tithe. But incredible. I think he had another double-digit performance last night, 23 and 10 against Winston-Salem State, where the Tar Heels won 95-53, and I believe we shot 7 of 25 from three-point range uh, against Winston-Salem State last night. So that was a good tune-up before we open the season. Um, I'm really optimistic about this team. Uh, if y'all haven't already, go check out our basketball season preview. But this team has what it takes to be a competitor and a contender. Um, I think we're better than the number 25 ranking, and I think uh, this team can go far. I think the thing that we need to figure out is Luca, and I don't understand how you can admit he comes under the premise of playing basketball at UNC. So you're going to allow him to come as a student to take classes, but not play. The NCAA clears you to play, but the university hasn't, and they're saying it's related to his international transcript or reports from Inside Carolina. Inside Carolina also reported from a program source that they're optimistic that he's going to be cleared soon, but he's yet to be cleared, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, there are people who are way more knowledgeable about this sort of stuff than me, but I don't understand, Zach, how.
They should just play him. Honestly, who cares? Like, who cares? You can figure out what year he is and how his grades line up and all that later. He's in class, and by all accounts, apparently he's a good student. He's getting good grades. He's currently in class doing what he needs to get done. Figure out what year he is or whatever garbage later. Like, who cares? Play him. If this was happening at Duke or Kentucky or any other school, you know good and well they would have figured out a way. So I don't know what's going on with our university, our staff, but this is ridiculous. And no kids are going to want to come play here over from overseas anymore because of this drama. So get it right. You know,
Yeah,
what the heck, man? He's going to be the besides Caleb Wilson, he might be the other best player on the team from what we've heard. We haven't seen it, obviously, but like, man, get him on the floor. I mean, who cares what the university? If the NCAA clears you, you're good because it's like a mess getting cleared by them. So I don't know what's going on with the university and why we have to always follow the rules. I don't know. We're following our own rules that we put in place. It's like the
I've been a student at UNC. There's some dumb rules there,
yeah, we're
but
being a bunch of Pharisees trying to follow our own rules, but not knowing, not receiving grace.
our leadership to get the log out of their own eyes, and
That's right. I
but
I had a couple quick thoughts just from the scrimmages as well to add in here. Um, the BYU game, I think, yeah, the I'm really glad we got to have the end of sequence, the two end of sequence plays. Unfortunately, we were up four with like a minute or so to go, and or somewhere in that realm in the last few minutes, and we just didn't close it out. And we need to learn that. But I'm glad it was a scrimmage, and I'm really glad we had a play for Caleb and a play for Seth going to the rim. I like their aggressiveness going to the rim, just couldn't finish. BYU is huge down low. And that's going to pay dividends, not making those baskets is going to drive those two players, I think, crazy. And there's going to be a situation late, some point in this season, where that same play happens and they're going to finish because of having that experience. So I was actually glad to see that. Um, you already touched on Caleb Wilson, Derek Dixon. Both were awesome. I really like Derek Dixon a lot. I agree with you. Um, Two things that I was really disappointed about was in the BYU game, we were very poor 3-point shooting, and we're supposed to be a good 3-point shooting team, and that corrected itself somewhat last night. But Henry Vasar is good, but his rebounding is very disappointing to me. I mean, he was getting out rebounded by Winston-Salem State last night, and he's 7 feet tall. He's always reaching for the ball with kind of one hand, trying to tip it up to himself. I need to see him be more aggressive at rebounding. And
The good news
overall,
is that's all coachable.
yeah,
They can fix that.
yeah, he needs to be boxing out and being aggressive. I think Caleb Wilson does a great job of this. He is very aggressive at the rim, going up there and grabbing the ball. There was one rebound last night where it almost looked like he got frustrated at Vasar for not being more aggressive. And so on the next possession, Caleb Wilson went up and just absolutely grabbed the ball. I mean, he like ripped it out of the air and even ripped it away from Vasar to like get the rebound. So Vasar has to get better at that. And I'm glad, we had some good shooting from Young, Stevenson, Powell, even Zayden High hit some threes last night, which was crazy. But
Vaden's got to keep his feet under him.
we play a lot. Yeah,
They
yeah,
got fall down so much.
yeah. And we play a lot of high pick and roll, I think. Like we have the big men coming up top, setting screens. I'd like to see them post a little bit more. Go
Yeah,
back to like
you don't
Zeller
see
and
a lot of post
Hansborough. What was
passes.
that?
You don't see a lot of post entry passes.
Yeah, yeah, and I'd like to see that some more. I mean,
That was more the Roy Williams era.
yeah, and the high screen and roll is good and definitely effective sometimes, but we're talking about some big guys, like some tall guys. So I'd like to see them post a few times and
Absolutely.
get the ball in the post and make a quick spin or get the ball out. You put it in the post and the defense collapses, throw it back out.
I haven't seen a post entry pass in maybe 5 years. But I'm with you, man. It's got to start inside and
Yeah.
our way out. But Zach, we gotta get ready. I got my uniform's coming in, so I can. I think Jason Freeman's faxing it over, so I can get over and to the airport and uh, fly up to upstate New York to join the boys.
Make
Uh,
sure he doesn't forget the jock strap.
oh man. Uh, but we want to thank everyone for tuning in to another episode of Kenan Concourse Convos KCC.
Turn
So
up.
yeah, turn up, baby. We'll be back on the call next week to recap the Carolina Syracuse game and the Central Arkansas game and preview the Tar Heels visit from Kansas and on the basketball court and our game against Stanford on the football field. So everybody come in hungry. I've got my family coming in from North Carolina to come visit us, and we're gonna have a great time up here in the DC metro area. And Zach, I hope you and your family have a great weekend, and everybody join us in cheering for the Tar Heels. We need y'all. Go Heels, beat Syracuse. Have a great
Turn up. Go Heels.
Take care, everybody.